Hello, and welcome to another Angry Unit of the Week. And today we're taking a look at the CR.42BIS fighter plane. The CR.42BIS is actually an Italian aircraft, the CR.42 Falco, which would enter into Italian service in 1939, which seems a bit late for a biplane, and the Italians had recognised it. But the reason they introduced biplanes so late into Air Force during, the start of World War II was, they could produce a lot of them for a relatively cheap price, and they managed to do so, with around about 1,800 being built before the war's end. And in the Italian Air Force, it would pretty much see service in all the fronts that Italy participated in during the Second World War, and for a biplane fighter, it wasn't too bad. It could actually outmaneuver Gloucester Gladiator and Hawker Hurricane planes. And it would see service in foreign air forces such as the Swedish Air Force, the Belgian Air Force, and of course the Hungarian Air Force. It would mainly be used on the Eastern Front as a fighter plane, but also briefly as a ground attack plane, though they'd stopped doing that by the end of 1941. Eventually, a lot of these planes were actually pulled off of frontline service and mainly just used as trainers, but by 1944 they'd end up reintroducing them back into service, mainly as a ground attack night bomber, but there's no real records of these actually being used in this role. And apparently the majority of these aircraft would end up being lost due to training accidents and being strafed on the ground by US airplanes. In-game, the CR.42BIS is a 50-point fighter plane available exclusively to the 1st Hungarian Cavalry Division, and it has one set of weaponry. So the weaponry is just two Breda 50 caliber machine guns with 800 rounds of ammunition. It's not the heaviest of airplane armament by any stretch of the imagination, but at least it's not 7.6 to 8mm machine guns. Up down to miscellaneous stats, it goes 400 kilometers an hour, has a good optics, a base agility of medium, and very bad resilience. So in battle, the CR.42BIS is, one of the cheapest fighter planes in game. The Finns also have a very cheap fighter plane at the same price, but this one's more interesting because it's painted yellow. And no, it's not a training aircraft, that's just how they painted it. In terms of its actual effectiveness on the battlefield, however, it's dicey. You're getting what you pay for, which is a pre-war biplane fighter. This isn't gonna go head-to-head against Yaks or Lags or anything really, which actually is a proper World War II fighter plane. But you can make this work. Really, you do have to buy them in pairs of two, as by itself is terrible. But two of these guys chasing down an enemy airplane does have the ability to actually shoot it down, and considering it's 100 points in total, and most planes are usually over 100 points, yeah, it's not a bad trade-off, all things considering. You can only get it in the 1st Low-VAS division with baseline of 1-star veterancy. You can also get them in 2-star, but really I'd recommend just sticking with 1-star for the availability. It does give it a bit of extra better agility, which is nice, but still, it's not the best turn fighter. And also it's not the best interceptor because it's very slow at 400 kilometers an hour. You really do need to have these guys on the field before the enemy comes out, before trying to shoot them down, or just hope to God that they also bring slow planes. Yeah, it's just a very slow, but a very steady fighter plane. It can do stuff, just don't be expecting any miracles here, you're really just taking it because it's painted pretty colour. And I'm going to leave it off at that. This has been another Angry Unit of the Week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.